कमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधाकान्ता नमोऽस्तु ते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पातरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Okay, we are reading from Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 18, verse 58. You can recite after me, repeat after me. मच्चित्ता सर्वदुर्गानि
मच्चित्ता सर्वदुर्गाणि
मत्प्रसादात् तरिष्यसि
मत्प्रसादात् तरिष्यसि
अथा चेत्त्वम् अहङ्कारान्
अथ चेतं त्वम् अहङ्कारान्
न श्रोष्यसि विनक्ष्यसि।
न श्रोष्यति न विनाङ्क्षति।
मच्चित्तः सर्वदुर्गानि
मच्चित्तः सर्वदुर्गाणि
मत्प्रसादात् तरिष्यसि
मत्प्रसादात् तरिष्यसि
अथा चेत्त्वम् अहङ्कारान्
अथा चेत्त्वम् अहङ्कारान्
श्रोष्यसि विनक्ष्यसि।
न श्रोष्यसि विनङ्क्षसि।
मच्चित्तः सर्वदुर्गानि
मच्चित्तः सर्वदुर्गाणि
मत्प्रसादात् तरिष्यसि
मत्प्रसादात् तरिष्यसि
अथा चेत्त्वम् अहङ्कारान्
अथा चेत्त्वम् अहङ्कारान्
न श्रोष्यसि विनक्ष्यसि।
न श्रोष्यसि विनङ्क्षसि।
Anyone would like to recite the verse?
मच्चित्ता सर्वदुर्गाणि
मच्चित्तः सर्वदुर्गाणि
मत्प्रसादात् त्रस्यसि
मत्प्रसादात् तरिष्यसि
अथा चेत्त्वम् अहङ्कारान्
अथ चेत्त्वम् अहङ्कारान्
न श्रोष्यसि विनक्ष्यसि।
न श्रोष्यसि विनङ्क्षसि। मच्चित्तः सर्वदुर्गाणि मत्प्रसादात् तरिष्यसि अथ चेत्त्वम् अहङ्कारान् न श्रोष्यसि विनङ्क्षसि।
मच्चित्तः सर्वदुर्गाणि मत्प्रसादात् तरिष्यसि अथ चेत्त्वम् अहङ्कारान् श्रोष्यसि विनङ्क्षसि।
मच्चित्ता सर्वदुर्गाणि मत्प्रसादात् तरिष्यसि अथा चेत्त्वम् अहङ्कारान् न श्रोष्यसि विनक्ष्यसि।
मच्चित्ता सर्वदुर्गाणि
मच्चित्ता सर्वदुर्गाणि
मत्प्रसादात् तरिष्यसि
मत्प्रसादात् तरिष्यसि
अथ चेत्त्वम् अहङ्कारान्
अथा
अथ चेत्त्वम् अहङ्कारान्
न श्रूयसि विनङ्क्षसि
न श्रोष्यसि विनङ्क्षसि.
Okay, we'll go for word synonyms. Mat,
mat
of me.
of me
of me.
Chittaha,
chittaha
being in consciousness.
being in consciousness
Sarva,
Sarva,
Sarva.
all.
all.
Durgani,
Durgani.
impediments.
impediments
Mat prasadat,
Matprasadat,
by my mercy.
by my
by
mercy.
By my
Tarishyasi,
Tarishyasi.
you will overcome.
You will
You will
overcome.
overcome.
Atha,
Atha
Tatha.
but.
but
But
Chet,
chet
Chet.
if.
if
If
Tvam,
from
you.
you,
you.
Ahankarat,
ahankarat
by false ego.
by false
By
ego
false ego.
Na shroshasi,
Nashashati.
do not hear.
do not
Not
hear.
here.
Vinanshasi,
Vinangshasi.
you will be lost.
You
you
will
will be
You
lost.
will be on.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Translation: if you become conscious of me, you will pass over all the obstacles of conditioned life by my grace. If, however, you do not work in such consciousness but act through false ego, not hearing me, you will be lost. Purport: a person in full Krishna consciousness is not unduly anxious about executing the duties of his existence. The foolish cannot understand this great freedom from all anxiety. For one who acts in Krishna consciousness, Lord Krishna becomes the most intimate friend. He always looks after his friend's comfort, and he gives himself to his friend who is so devotedly engaged working 24 hours a day to please the Lord. Therefore, no one should be carried away by the false ego of the bodily concept of life. One should not falsely think himself independent of the laws of material nature or free to act. He is already under strict material laws. But as soon as he acts in Krishna consciousness, he is liberated, free from the material perplexities. One should note very carefully that one who is not active in Krishna consciousness is losing himself in the ocean of birth and death. No conditioned soul actually knows what is done and what is not to be done. But a person who acts in Krishna consciousness is free to act because everything is prompted by Krishna within and confirmed by the spiritual master. We'll read again translation one more time. If you become conscious of me, you will pass over all the obstacles of conditioned life by my grace. Not work in such consciousness, but act through false ego, not hearing me, you will be. I think
Rasaraj Prabhu's mic is on.
yes, Prabhuji.
Rasaraj Prabhuji, can you switch off? Can you be moved?
Can you hear me now?
Mataji, I'll call him maybe.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Yeah,
If you are able to hear, I can speak, like continue.
yeah, we can hear Mataji.
Okay, sure. Thank you, Prabhu. So, this verse is the direct indication of Krishna consciousness. So, the direct reference from Bhagavad Gita, which speaks about the reference about one has to become Krishna consciousness, is this verse. where it says Machittaha, Machittaha. So first we'll see the verse, then we will go for the discussion. So let's see the verse. Machittaha sarva durgani. So Machittaha means be consciousness of me. Krishna is saying. Sarva durgani, all the durgani means impediments, problems. So if you be consciousness of me, then what will happen? From all the impediments or problems which we are going through, mat prasada tarishyasi. Tarishyasi means will overcome. How? By the mercy of Krishna. Mat prasadat. So if the condition is we have to be consciousness of Krishna, then all our problems we will become overcome by the mercy of the Lord. Then second of atachetvam. Atachetvam means but if ahankaran. So ahankaran is false ego. If one is like not in Krishna consciousness or in situated in their false ego, so what will happen? Na shroshasi vinamshasi. So if they don't hear Krishna, what that is the result? Vinamshasi, they will be lost. Means they'll be lost. What they'll be lost, we will see. Okay, so this is the verse. So next like 40 minutes at least, we will discuss this verse in 3 stages. One is what will happen if be in Krishna consciousness, and what will happen if you are not in Krishna consciousness, and third one is how the devotees see the impediments being in Krishna consciousness, the positive points, how the devotees overcome the obstacles and see the Krishna's presence in their life. So let's see the first part. So every time in every situation, there will be in 2 situations. Either they will move towards to Krishna or they will be away from Krishna. These 2 situations are there in these 2 cases will be there. So let's see the people who are away from Krishna. So what they will happen? So the result of that one is the people who don't be in Krishna consciousness. It's kind of materialistic people or not in like following Krishna consciousness. So what will happen for them is they think there is only one enjoyment, that is material enjoyment. If there is no possibility of enjoying in that material level, they think that there is no enjoyment at all. So that is the scope for the non-devotees. And when there are problems obstruct that material enjoyment, whatever they have little bit also, if something obstructs the enjoyment of that material enjoyment, they'll become disappointed. And the result of that one, it may varies. So they may go frustration, or they become anger, and they don't know what the reaction, like, they are showing towards the frustration situation. They will become drinking or intoxicated. So basically they lost themselves in the flow. So then what will happen? Because they don't understand there is a higher enjoyment, and they don't understand the purpose of life. So they think only the purpose is enjoy, that is material enjoyment. So then what will happen? If the person continues to be like that, so as we discussed already in 2nd chapter, the desires towards the sense gratification flows like a river towards the ocean. There is no limit. The cessation of desires flows in the heart like anything. So if keep satisfying the desires one after the other, due to the greediness, the desires will sprout up again, and keep satisfying, the new desires come. In this way, he get lost. So the overall effect of all this thing is they make us lose their attitude, and they get trapped in the spell of this external energy, material nature, and they become lifetime after lifetime, like in the role in the repeated cycle of birth and death. So this is the situation. The people who move away from Krishna and they get lost, and they become like in the mesh of worldly distresses, they entangle themselves. So this is the case when we move away from Krishna. Already we moved away from Krishna, that's why we are here in this material world. Then apart from that, even realizing that mistake, if you don't realize and if you move still away from Krishna, so they'll get lost in the repeated cycle of birth and death. Okay, so then that second case. what will happen, the people who move towards to Krishna, and gradually what they do, they rise towards to the upwards, means, so when one move towards to the closer to Krishna, so what will happen, so the higher taste will come. So what is the purpose of life, why I am here, where I will go after death, so all these questions will get answered. Then in that quench, what will happen, one get connected to the scriptures. So one get connected to the scriptures, which are defined in which are explained at purport, commentaries written in a disciplic succession in a parampara system, authentic bona fide parampara system. Then the conviction comes in the heart of a devotee, Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead and Krishna is my ultimate protector. So that conviction comes in that process. It's not like one step, but it's a process. So when one becomes the mindful of Krishna, then what will happen, the thoughts and consciousness, everything moves towards to Krishna. How can I please Krishna, how can I engage in the service of Krishna? All these thoughts comes by just starting one step, that is moving or inquisitive know about Krishna. So that is the thing. So but in these two cases, it's free will Krishna has given, choice is ours, whether we can go for the first option or second option, but the result is also defined. See, why these two options are there for us is basically the place where we are living is Krishna defined in scriptures as Dukkhalayam Ashashvatam. So it means that place of misery, and it is Ashashvatam, temporary. So it means clearly it's saying two things. So our endeavor, whatever we achieve in this material world, it's a temporary. Even if one achieves like a highest degrees or whatever they acquire in their life, it's a temporary. And second thing is place of misery. It means Lady Krishna also defined in Bhagavatam saying that one, padam yat vipadamna tesham. So each and every step there is a danger in this material world. So that's why Krishna is speaking here. Whoever are devotees or people, whoever are conscious of me, they overcome those obstacles. So what are those obstacles? It may come like a threefold miseries, Adi Bhautik, Adi Daivik, Adhyatmik, and it comes like a life, four problems: birth, disease, old age, death. So as we are conditioned in this material world due to the three modes of material nature, we are all gone through all these things. As of we are in 18th chapter now, so we have gone through all these stages in the Bhagavad Gita as we are in discussion. So Krishna, that's why here it's saying, you will overcome all the obstacles by my mercy, mat prasadat. So that's why Krishna consciousness this is the direct reference of about Krishna consciousness. Two ways, whether one become direct reference, if one become Krishna consciousness, what is the result? If one don't become Krishna consciousness, what is the result? Direct, Krishna is saying here. So this is the thing which is discussing in this verse. So if you see, as this whole verse, we can say in one sentence, saying that one, with Krishna we flourish, without Krishna we perish. It means that one, if we take shelter of Krishna, we flourish, because as nature we are eternal soul. And when the eternal soul connected to the supreme personality of Godhead, who is eternal, as we are part and parcels of Krishna, when that part is connected to the whole, what is going to happen? The flourishment comes, the loving exchanges comes between that one. So that's why we flourish with Krishna. Then without Krishna, why we perish? Because we get the mentality of controllers or enjoying. So we think we are the enjoyers. We think we are the controllers. With that is what the ahankara. So that's what, when we, without Krishna, when we self-centered in our life, we don't know the knowledge. We don't know about this material world is temporary. We don't know about this place is misery. Just simply thinking that this is my life and death. If I don't get something in my life, then it's end of my life, even though he is living. So that realization won't come without Krishna consciousness. Then what will happen? We perish. We get less of, we just rotating in this repeated cycle of birth and death. So that's the thing here explained. With Krishna, we flourish because Krishna's mercy is there to overcome all these obstacles. And without Krishna, we perish. Definitely, we are going to lose. Then, see, in life, like I'll go for the third one. So 2 parts I finished. One is Krishna. One has to become Krishna consciousness, how it is, and the other one is one has to become like one is away from Krishna. So as these 2 cases, Krishna is discussing here as problems like impediments, sarva durgani. So what are those impediments? It may not only the threefold miseries or 4 main problems for the life humanity, not only that one, but as we are living, we may get some other problems also in the progress of living or in our life journey. So our life determines our problems, but we determine their size. So always mind magnifies the problem. If the problem is this much, mind makes to think this much. So it's one of the quality of the mind is magnifies the problem. So, but when the problems goes in our life, what we can do is one thing in our control. Some situations may not in our control, but the only one thing in our control is our response, how we are responding to that problem. So that response, how we can take shelter. See, we can't solve a problem at the consciousness where it arises. We need to elevate our intelligence to solve, to get the solution to that problem. So how can we elevate that thing? Not by taking any kind of other objects shelter, but when we take shelter of Krishna. So Krishna says in 10th chapter, Tadami buddhi yogam tam, I give the intelligence to you. So when we take shelter of Krishna, Krishna is going to reveal. So even in this purport also, the last sentence says, if you see the last sentence, what it says, but a person who acts in Krishna consciousness is free to act because everything is prompted by Krishna from within and confirmed by the spiritual master. So what Prabhupada is saying here is everything is prompted by Krishna. How? Because Krishna is staying as Paramatma within us. So by that thing, by Paramatma, he is guiding us. And at the same time, externally, spiritual master is the one who is helping us. So giving instructions. So that's where the grace comes. So by the grace of the spiritual master and the Krishna's grace, we overcome these obstacles. But sometimes what happens, we invest our emotions in that problem and it shakes our thoughts, like, and we get so much of caught into that problem. What can I do now? What will happen, like that? So then, even if we want to think towards the solution, our thoughts may not be constructive, but it's destructive. So sometimes even how much we think, we don't get the steps how to dissolve that problem. And how to make that things, the thoughts in us as constructive towards the solution. The best way and right way is we have to take shelter to the alternate object, that is the Krishna. So when we take that, that's why this Gita wisdom is saying in this verse. So when we become consciousness of Krishna, we overcome all the problems in this life. So that's the thing. Krishna's prasad, the mercy of Krishna is glorified here. And how can sometimes we think I'm got up. It looks like the problem is the biggest problem. So how can I get out of this biggest problem? So if we keep ourselves centered and how can I get, obviously we have to think to solve the problem in an effective way, in a right way. But when we take shelter of Krishna, that problem consciousness, like that kind of time, so Krishna is bigger than the problem. So yes, definitely we get the bigger problems. We think the consciousness says that one, oh my God, this is the biggest problem I never have gone through. But Krishna is far, far bigger than the problem. For him, solving our biggest problem is not a big deal. Say he can solve. He can empower us to tackle with one, if we take shelter of Krishna, with one moment of illumination of our intelligence, it gets solved. But thing is, our endeavor goes how much we take shelter at that situation. That is the important thing. So how to cultivate this kind of consciousness, like taking shelter of Krishna at the problem problems time. So tells, I heard thing from Chaitanya Charan Prabhu saying that one, don't tell Krishna how big our problems are. Tell the problems how big Krishna is. See, obviously, scriptures are glorifying Krishna. Krishna is the supreme person. And lot of pastimes are there how the Lord saved the devotees. So tell the problems how big Krishna is. Okay, problem is there. It looks, mind makes, our consciousness makes its biggest. Then tell to the problem like Krishna is the biggest. So nothing is beyond the Krishna, right? So we need to be like in one class, Ganpat Govind Prabhu said in I think in Bhagavatam class, when problems comes, we have to be in Krishna consciousness, not problem consciousness. So that by doing by moving our problematic consciousness towards the Krishna consciousness, what will happen is the attitude, how we respond to that problem is going to change, because Krishna is giving that buddhi. So normally, like I heard one class in Gaur Gopal Prabhu, he says he took one Coke bottle, Coke tin actually. So he shake that Coke tin and he opened it. So when he opened, all the Coke, like it's blown out. Then he took one water bottle. Then he shake and he opened that one. And the water didn't come, and he poured nicely into the cup. So we have to be like water. When problem comes, we should not be like a Coke bottle, shaking our consciousness too much in problematic way. And once it blows out, and that blown in which way it's going to affect to our sadhana, or it affects to our reactions to the problem, we don't know. But when we calm ourselves, that's why it says like apuryamana machilam pratishtam. When the incessant desires flow like a river into our consciousness, then the Krishna consciousness devotee, how he makes steady, like he stays like steady like ocean is, he is not going to be in problematic consciousness. He is in Krishna consciousness, and Krishna, he is begging for the mercy of Krishna, and by the mercy of Krishna, he is getting overcome from the problem. So that's how we need to implement. So in this process, by cultivating this kind of consciousness in the life, in over time, what we'll see is we start seeing the bigness of the worldly problems as the opportunities to deepen our awareness towards to Krishna. So we see problems in different way. Okay, problem is coming, just take more shelter of Krishna, chant more, and recite the prayers which are there in the scriptures, because there are the examples. Lord saved Prahlad Maharaj. So Prahlad Maharaj, we see in that past time, Lord saved Prahlad Maharaj. But what is the key in that one? Why Lord saved? Because Prahlad Maharaj absorbed so much in the thoughts of Krishna. The smaran is there in him. So if Hiranyakashipu sent him to throw from the valley, so he didn't go like, Krishna is going to save me. No, he remembered the Lord. He is not like thinking, oh, I'm going to fall from the valley. No, he completely kept his Krishna consciousness at that situation. So that absorption is important for the situations when we are going through the problems. When we be so much absorbed at that situation, so Krishna is going to bestow his ultimate mercy on us. So that is the thing. So when how can I say, so when we go through all this problem and situation, right, that's what is there. Tattenu kampam susamikshamanu. Devotee sees the problems as an opportunities to go closer to Krishna, and at the same time they think, I supposed to go through a lot, but Krishna has given very less. So when we think in that way, what is going to happen? We become lighter about the problem consciousness. Okay, Krishna is there. Krishna is going to help. Some positive hope. So we should not be, even problems are coming in our life, we should not be in a hopeless condition. We have to be complete hope on Krishna, no matter what may come in our life. Krishna is not going to leave us, because Krishna is there in us as a Paramatma. And no matter what may come in our life, I don't leave Krishna. That is also there, should be there in our determination. I don't leave. We should not question the Krishna's plan. We should not, how can I see Krishna in this situation? Or where is Krishna? Why is not answer my prayers? No, because the key here is we see the present and plan for the future. See, if we are in this situation, okay, in 2 years after this, like in future, how I need to be, we plan how much I need to save, what kind of service I need to do, all these things. So we see at present level and we plan for the future. But Krishna's plan is different. Krishna sees the future. So Krishna looks at the future and plan our present. That's why our buddhi, our intelligence may not grasp that plan. So sometimes we can't understand what's going on. So we can pray at that situation, Krishna, give me the right intelligence to understand your presence in my situation. So that is a prayer we can do at that time. So because he's looking at the future. So that's why he's planning the present. At present, we may think this is like a harm, this is like a painful for me. But ultimately, Krishna wants to see us like a happy, and we want to be in Krishna's service. So, and how can we be happy? By connecting to Krishna. So as Prabhupada says a lot of times in the classes, Krishna doesn't need anything. He has a lot of servants to do. He doesn't need anyone to dress. But we serve it because we are engaging in that service to express our love towards to Krishna. And Krishna from his side is also eagerly waiting for that service, waiting for that mood, how one person is getting connected to that one. He is also waiting, when will all these souls come back to me? So we are like in this material world, 1/4 of the creation. But 3/4 of creation already there, that jivas, that all the part and parcels are there in the spiritual world. But this 1/4 we forgot. We want to become enjoyers. That's why we are here. But we need to utilize this material world as a means to go up again, to go back to the spiritual worlds, because the complete happiness for the jiva comes when he engages in Krishna service. That's why when we discuss Varnashrama Dharma, whatever we are situated in the social situations, that action has to be please Krishna. So that's what we discussed. So that's why, like Prabhupada says in Krishna book 89th chapter, one's greatness has to be estimated by one's ability to tolerate provoking situations. So because Prabhupada said, definitely situations comes, the problems comes, but the estimated one's ability is how strong we are, means how we are tolerating to that provoking situation. So how can we get that strength? By absorbing so much at that problematic situation in Krishna consciousness, like Prahlad. So how he absorbed when this problems comes. So this is the how, when the devotee is in the problems, what are the positive points he gets is, he has complete faith on Krishna. Krishna is my ultimate protector. No matter what may come, Krishna never leave me. And no matter what may come in my life, I never leave Krishna. These two are there in between the devotee and Lord. And with that connection in the sadhana, Krishna is going to shower his mercy. By that mercy, we overcome all these problems. So once in a time duration, we develop this kind of consciousness, we may, by the mercy of Krishna, get out of this repeated cycle of birth and death. So this is the one way in problem situations, how we need to be in Krishna consciousness. The other thing is, see, if a person is in already Krishna consciousness and he is going through the problems, how he transcends the problems. Let's see that one. So if suffering comes for the devotees, so how the devotees, that suffering transfers towards to three things: realization, renunciation, and devotion. How they transfers? Because the devotee who is already in Krishna consciousness, he knows what is the purpose of life. So he has that intelligence, like, how can he attain the perfection? By attaining this human form. So with that base knowledge, if suffering comes in his life, so how he is going to see? So first one is realization. As he has already situated in Krishna consciousness, he completely accepts that reality through the scriptures from bona fide parampara system. So he takes shelter of the Krishna and realizing that Krishna is my ultimate protector. and Krishna is the greatest of all. And by all whatever the problems I have, I'm going through, it's not a big deal for Krishna. He will save me. Okay, that is the one thing. Then how suffering goes to renunciation? Renunciation is, see, if sufferings are there, then what will happen? Then we can't, we completely understood at that time, I'm not the enjoyer, I'm not the controller, because my plan is not working. That's why I'm getting all these problems. And because even problems are coming, some situations are not in our control. So we may go up to some extent to solve the problem. We put our efforts completely, but up to Krishna's mercy. Some situations are not in our control. At that situation, one will get realization, I am not the controller, I am not the enjoyer. There is a highest controller who is executing his plan. He is the ultimate controller. So then we will take shelter at that time, and we will give up that mentality of enjoyer and controlling mentality. That's where the renunciation comes. And in that thing, we don't get frustration. Okay, this is not happening. We don't get frustrated and react to the problem. We'll respond to the problem in a good way, nice way. Okay, Krishna is the ultimate protector. Whatever Krishna gives, let it happen. Whatever Krishna's will, let it happen. So that comes in the devotees. And in that renunciation time, the devotee takes shelter of service attitude. So that time that service attitude comes. Okay, then that service attitude brings peace. Okay. Then he serves the lords and devotees. Then that service attitude brings him peace. And that service attitude, by engaging in that step, the third one will come, the devotion towards to Krishna. So sometimes when we engage in the service, we realize a lot of things. So that thing, that service, engaging in that service attitude is going to give the devotion, third one. So that service attitude is a kind of torchlight. So that torchlight, with that light, one may see, even amidst of all the darkness, they see the next step. Okay, I'm in the problem. What is the next step? So by engaging in that service, they see the torchlight is going to switch on. Then they see the next step. How can I go ahead? So that's why developing that service attitude comes with devotion and by being in Krishna consciousness. So sometimes like devotees may take, how can we turn on the torchlight of service attitude in that situation is by taking shelter of scriptures, or by meditating, or by reciting some prayers which are suitable to our present situation. Like not thinking like, oh, long back Gajendra offered that prayer, I am not connected to that prayers. No. So Gajendra's situation is completely our situation only. Like even though years it's happened, so completely taken shelter of that Gajendra situation, we need to offer Gajendra's prayers as we are taking shelter as a media. I'm speaking to you, Lord, but it revealed through the scriptures. So like that we can communicate by the prayer to the Lord. And by doing all this meditation and prayers, we will get peace, and which assures us that Krishna is still in control. Krishna is the ultimate controller. He is like, he is the ultimate benevolent for me. He gives the best thing to me. So that thing arises in our thoughts. So that's what, what does becoming Krishna conscious means? How can I serve you? That is the best prayer. That's what we chant. How can I engage? Please engage me in your service. How can I serve you, O Lord? Such service attitude can act as a torchlight, and that shows our next step when we are in bewildered situation. And then when we think in that way, how can I serve you? So then by doing that prayer continuously, engaging in the services, so we may realize and focus more what went wrong in my life and how I can do the better, right things in my life. So that meditation, taking shelter of the prayers is very important. And that meditation is going to shrink our problems, like how the mind magnitude our problems, that magnification goes to the shrinks. Okay, this is the worldly problem. Nothing is going to be happen permanent. So everything keeps move on in this material world. Everything changes. This time I think this is the solution, but next moment the solution become again problem. So that meditation and the prayers scriptures, Krishna consciousness is going to shrink that problems in the material level and increase our awareness towards to the Krishna's greatness. So the prayers glorifies the Krishna. In that way, we feel Krishna is the greatest. And at the same time, the prayers reveals us how temporary these problems are in our life. So ultimately, when we take shelter of Krishna at the problems, that is the best thing we can do. We can't even take the some other objects to go for the solution, because Krishna is there in everyone's heart as a Paramatma. Even for the problem, if some may not responsive or positive towards the solution, like dealing with others, and he has to give the solution, but he's not positive to help me, then Krishna is the ultimate shelter, because he's there in him also as a Paramatma. When we take shelter of Krishna, Krishna speaks through that as a Paramatma. So definitely he is going to change that person mentality, and he may come towards to us in a positive way. So it's an example. It may happen, it may not happen, it may happen in different way, but ultimately Krishna will do the best for us. So focusing our thoughts on Krishna is the highest form of meditation. Thinking of Krishna when things goes wrong, highest form of the meditation one can do. So related to this one verse is there in Chaitanya Charitamrita, 14th chapter, first verse, Adi Leela. It says that things that are very difficult to do become easy to execute if someone or other simply remembers Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But if one does not remember him, even easy things become very difficult. To this Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I offer my respectful obeisances. So even just remembering Mahaprabhu, one can easy things, hard things will become easy. So the verse goes, Katanchana smrute yasmin dushkaram sukaram bhavet vishnute viparitam syat Shri Chaitanyam namami tam. So this is the thing scriptures are saying. Remember me. Here also Krishna is saying, be consciousness of me. You will overcome all the problems. So yesterday also beautiful verse, it says that when whatever you do, like think of me, do for me, work for me. So Krishna is saying, just remembering at the situation, Krishna, it's like some devotees I heard, like when something went wrong in service or something spilled or something went wrong, they say, oh Krishna, like that. They even that expression of that something went wrong is also the devotees transfers towards Krishna. If something is not good and something went wrong in the lives of the devotee, oh Krishna, Hare Krishna, like the expression, their console, they say that one in towards to Krishna's words itself. So in that way they become like, they call Krishna. They call Krishna. So if car stops, oh Krishna, what is your plan? I stopped in the middle. So even if we talk, if you speak in that way also, if you see the Krishna's presence in that way also, Krishna is going to give the solutions. So this is the thing, and I want to stop here. If you have any kind of reflections, very beautiful verse, and relate, I want to share one more point is, so in this verse it says mat prasadat. So prasada is mercy. So Krishna already described this prasada, and one more thing is taranti. Here it says taranti. Mat prasada tarishyasi. Tarishyasi means overcome. So this already spoken 7:14. It says Daivi hesha gunamayi mama maya duratyaya maam ye prapadyante maya metam tarantite. So it says here maya metam tarantite. Taranti means by surrendering unto me you overcome this modes of material nature. So taranti, it comes there also. And one more thing is in 12.7 it says tesha maham samuddartha mrityu samsara sagarat bhavamina achirat bharta mayye veshita chetasam, maya veshita chetasam. There it says, I am the swift deliverer from the ocean of repeated birth and death. Krishna has given lot of, not only it said like this material world is place of misery and temporary, but Krishna gives lot of assurance. This is one more assurance, like, whoever are Krishna consciousness, they will overcome all the problems with his mercy. Like Krishna says, Kshipram bhavati dharmatma, shashvat shantim gacchati, kaunteya pratijanihi, name bhakta pranishyati. So maam upetyatu kaunteya punarjanmana vidyate. So all these are Krishna is saying like solutions. So this is not the place where we belong to. So get out of this one. So Krishna is giving solutions to how to develop that consciousness too. So, and in related to, I forgot one point. So when the devotees are in a problem situations, how can they transcend that consciousness is the devotee don't let the problem consciousness dominate his Krishna consciousness. So like that means when problem comes, like, he goes through the lot of perplexities. How can we basically the perplexity and how I need to handle this, like, bewilderment comes. So here devotee won't allow the problem consciousness dominate the Krishna consciousness. So if something goes wrong in the devotee's life, if the something is making Krishna consciousness process weaker, so what he need to do is he need to take shelter of the scriptures and associate with the devotees, take guidance with the devotees. That is going to help them to get back to the Krishna consciousness. And one more thing is the devotees, the devotee may be perplexed in the problematic situations, but he never discouraged. So what is the difference? What is means by perplexity and discouraged is, discouraged means not feeling like doing service or not feeling like being in Krishna consciousness. That devotees never feel. Devotees may go through the perplexities. Perplexity means, should I do this or not? How can I solve this problem? Or I don't know how to serve now. So that time I told as it is, like, we need to take service attitude. That service attitude is a torchlight. When we engage in Krishna consciousness, Krishna is going to reveal the next step for that one. So the best thing the devotees do is, whatever situation I may be in my life, my goal is serve Krishna and his devotees. Whatever I have the sources, whatever I have the senses, wealth, all the sources, let's invest in serving Krishna. So this mentality of the devotee don't make him discourage or lose hope, because always daily with his sadhana, he is moving closer to Krishna. So how much we take, the more we take shelter of Krishna, the less problems the less the problems shake us in our life. And the more we take shelter of Krishna, the dealing towards to the problems, it become in a right way, because Krishna is going to guide us. So this is what I want to share. I'll summarize so far. So three steps we discussed. One is who are away from Krishna. Second one is who move towards to Krishna. Third one is the people who move towards to Krishna, how they see the life, how they see the problems. Because in materialistic persons, they get bewildered because they don't know the higher realization and higher taste. But the devotees has that one through their sadhana, so that they transcend all the problematic situations. They don't get bewildered, but in that bewildered situation, they take shelter of the service attitude. And that service attitude is a torchlight which is going to reveal the next step. And even that is the one thing, service attitude. The second thing is meditation and prayers. That meditation makes us to shrink our importance towards the worldly problems, and to rise and to bring awareness towards the Krishna's greatness. And then thing is, this whole verse is saying, with Krishna we flourish, without Krishna we perish. So I'll stop here. Thank you all. And if you have any kind of realizations or corrections or comments, please go ahead. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
I just have one comment. This is an excellent class, and you really made it very, very interesting.
All glories to Srila Prabhupada Mataji. Thank you.
And very practical solutions, Vallavi Gopi, very nice.
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, we can really relate to our everyday life.
Yes, Mataji.
Mataji, I would like to share one reflection.
Sure, Prabhuji.
Especially in the distress situation, sometimes you also take help from non-devotee friends also, because sometimes situations are like you cannot wait, like devotee can come, right? So sometimes you also take help. You don't know who is coming to help you. Sometimes it could be non-devotee, sometimes it could be devotee. I think the difference, what I see is when devotees are around, they not just help you on maybe help more from the material aspect, but they also help you from keeping your mind focused on Krishna and making you realize that the situation that you are going through is kind of a small, because Krishna has made it small. Otherwise, it would have been much bigger. But however, I seen like in the distress situation, you are just looking for help immediately, but sometimes material, I mean, the karmi friend, because everybody has a network of friends wherever you live, whether US, India, or any part of the world, and whoever comes. So that's what I have seen from the reflection perspective. But even devotee lives in your house too. It could be your son or kids, or it could be wife, and they keep you always from the devotional perspective. What is the right way of looking at these problems and not getting carried away and lose track of it? I think that I see a difference between how material friends. I wouldn't say material. I'm just trying to differentiate between the two group of people. That's it.
So Madhukanta, what you're really saying is when we really surrender to Krishna and take shelter of Krishna, help comes in many different ways. It doesn't necessarily have to be a devotee. It could be a friend, like when I was going through some rough times, I've had some of my Christian friends. One time she sent me a text message, just like what Vallabhi Gopi just said, but she put it in her own words. She said the monster and the problem, and she's put like a big beast picture in front of you is not bigger than the Lord within you. This is, this is not our devotee friends, it can be anybody, so the Lord sends different people to give you to assuage your difficulty,
Yeah, absolutely. But Mataji, what I see, Mataji, when we pursue our devotional, sometimes what happens is we keep focusing on our devotee network more, and then it become naturally we don't become so much attached to our other friends, and that become natural. It's not like we are doing intentionally.
Nice, but sometimes devotee friends do not have the time. You may not have devotee friends close to your house, who can help you. So I reached out to some of my friends at work, and some other network helped me. You know what I'm saying? They were not necessarily devotees from our group, but they were kind people. They were Christian people. They also were very devoted to God. You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily Krishna. So there are so many other people who can help you, and sometimes practically speaking, the people in your devotee network may not be available to you at certain times.
Yeah.
Yes, Mataji. So thank you, Prabhu. Thank you, Mataji. So what I feel in these two cases is, so when we are seeking help, especially surrendering to Krishna and asking him like, first of all, we are in bewildered stage. We don't, if we choose the help source, then we can only take like, if we are going through, if I take like this group of people is going to help me, and then you know the solution. Like, right? So if instead of that one, if we completely dependent, see if I'm driving on the road, if car got struck, and if someone comes and help, so it doesn't matter whether he is a devotee or not. If doesn't matter, because you took shelter of Krishna within there as a Paramatma. So he comes in that form. Help may come in any form, as Mataji said, but it's not needed like, devotees or non-devotees. Help comes in different way, because we deal with the material people to non-devotees in our work, outside world. So if everybody becomes Krishna consciousness, that is a different thing. But we have to go through the situations where we mingle with the material people too. But to mold that material people towards our favorism in that problematic situation is Krishna's mercy. Because we take shelter of that Krishna who is present in their heart as a Paramatma. So that's what my thought is on that one. So we can ask help, but we cannot define like Krishna, I may go to this group of people may help. No, even if we ask in that way, in that problematic situations, then we are asking some motivation. Okay, my thought at this situation is this one. You made him to understand the situation. No, so it means we are giving a solution. Okay, let Krishna let it happen. Let him do this work for me, like that. So instead of that one, we completely surrender to Krishna. Do the best for me. So that is the best thing we can do. It may come to that person. We may think that person is solving our problem, but Krishna may send some third person who is going to give the best solution for our problem. We don't know.
But Vallabhi Gopi, I just want to make another point that sometimes God helps those who help themselves. There is a saying in English, you know what I'm saying? So if there is a problem, you can't just sit there flailing, doing nothing. You know what I'm saying?
We have to put our efforts.
To make some effort. Exactly. You have to make some effort.
So that's what I said.
Helping some resolution to your problem. You can't just sit there wallowing in your misery. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. So that's what I said, like Prahlad did. He put his effort. He remembered. He absorbed in the thoughts of Krishna. He didn't like, oh, okay, I am praying to Krishna. Let Krishna come. And no, he put his effort. He completely absorbed in Krishna consciousness that time. So it may be different for the different problems. So, but we need to put our efforts until where how much we can control the situation. That much time we need to put our efforts. We need to put that one, and ultimately we need to take shelter of Krishna. So when the situation comes, like which are things are not in our control. So like a farmer, he put the grains, but rain is not in our control. He has to take shelter of the Lord. He can't do anything. He put completely his efforts. He put everything in the farm. He did everything on time, but rains are not coming means, so no one is going to help. So he need to take shelter of the Lord that time. So that is the thing. We need to put efforts to solve the problem. We need to think. It's not complete taking Krishna consciousness at that time. It's not like giving up everything to Krishna and sit. No, that is not going to work. We have to put our efforts, but depends on the Krishna. That is the thing.
Yeah. In fact, I think a long time ago, I read a story about Radhanath Maharaj talking about a Babaji, in Vrindavan. Or I don't know exactly where, but he was talking about a Babaji. And there was some lions or something in the area, It was like in a village atmosphere, I guess. And this Babaji was saying he had a little stick next to him where he was sleeping. And I think Radhanath Maharaj asked him, like, why the stick? He says, yeah, I'm depending on Krishna wherever I'm at. Why the stick? He said, well, Krishna has to know that I'm making some effort. Yeah. So he kept a little stick next to him. The stick is not going to really help chase away some kind of animal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's there in journey home.
Yeah.
Any comments or reflections? Okay. If nobody has any comments, I want to share one verse which is related to this present verse. It is from the Damodara Madhaveti, which is written by Bilvamangal Thakur. So there we can find nice verse related to this verse. So it's a 50th verse. It says, Samsara kupe patitotya gade mohanda purne vishaya vitapte karavalambam mamadehi Vishnu Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. So the translation, I am fallen into the deep, dark well of material life, which is full of illusion and blind ignorance, and I am tormented by sensual existence. O my Lord Vishnu, Govinda, Damodara, Madhava, please grant me your supporting hand to uplift me. So this is a prayer like Bilo Mangal Thakur writes, a very beautiful prayer one can offer in front of Krishna every day. So, and this verse, it relates that to the image, like you all might have seen that image, like one person is drowning in the ocean, and on Garuda, Krishna comes and he gives, like he bends down to give his hand, and the devotee raises his hand upwards. So the both are like, trying to catch each other. Krishna is trying to uplift that person from the ocean. So this material world is like a ocean. So as 2 minutes is there, I'll share one more thing. So as we are in this material world, in the Bhavasagar, on the ocean, and we are on the ship. Like if we take Krishna consciousness, that means that we have a small ship on the ocean. Like we are on the ship, in the ship. And until unless we be in Krishna consciousness, in that we will be in that ship. Otherwise we will drown, we'll come down to into the water and we'll drown. And when we stick to that Krishna consciousness, we will be in that small ship, and whatever may come in the ocean, that Krishna is going to create a unsinkable ship. That Krishna consciousness ship is unsinkable. It won't sink at all. How many like big waves comes. So that commitment, that desire, if we have being in Krishna consciousness, definitely Krishna is going to take us to that other shore, which is eternity. And Krishna does not promise a stormless sea, because sea, ocean, always it won't be calm. So no captain can say ocean is calm, and he can't predict like always ocean is calm. No, definitely there is a wave, there are the waves, some disturbances are there within the ocean, but with firm faith, sticking to that Krishna consciousness, staying in that ship, that is going to make us to reach the other shore. That is the eternity, spiritual world. So that's where we have to stick to that. Until unless we stay in that ship, we are safe. And that ship is unsinkable. Okay. So any more comments? Otherwise,
they also stay within the ship of ISKCON. You know what I'm saying? Srila Prabhupada's boat.
Bona fide, yes.
Yeah, as long as you stay there, then you will reach the other shore just by the power of being part of the parampara.
Yes, Mataji. Okay, it's 8:03. If you don't have any comments, we'll offer prayers to all the assembled Vaishnavas. Vancha kalpa tarubhyascha patitanam pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta koti Vaishnava ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you all. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.